So a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening everyone, wherever you're joining from, and welcome on the second edition of the Microsoft Meets community event around Windows Virtual Desktop. It's a real pleasure to be again your host today, and to be here today is very special as well because I never expected to have a second event today. So it's really enormous in terms of the attention and as well the positive feedback that we received after last event. And yeah, to be frank, to give some insights, the numbers, the registrations and the live attendees during this event are already higher than last event. So it's really intense to feel that. So let's make a third event happen as well. So I'm Christiaan Brinkhoff. I work in the global black belt organization within Microsoft for Windows Virtual Desktop. And if you want to stay up to date and connect with me, please visit my name on LinkedIn or on Twitter via Brinkhoff_C. So let's start with a huge thank you. Again, thank you, because without you, the community, the partners, customers, we could not do this event. So you are basically the creator. You make it possible to have such event. So thank you for that, because how I experience and how I feel community is like a big family. If you start doing community work as an example, you get as part of the community all feedback, help from other people inside the community as well. And that's why I think community is like a big family. And a great example of that are the two speakers that are after me, that are Neil and Stefan. And Neil and Stefan created the WVD community, which is now started small and which is now a very large group of people that like to learn from WVD and share knowledge. So a great example of something that starts small from a community initiative to something really big, right? So great work by Neil and Stefan. And what I would like to say with that as well is that we need you as well to be one of the speakers either on this event or on WVD community event in the future, because the community is something that is something that happens from ideas from people that are just like consultants or architects, or just do something great in terms of an implementation. And as part of that work that you did, you can share that on an event like this. So really need you, and maybe you can share that knowledge on the third event of Microsoft Meets Community, or one of the WVD community events of Neil and Stefan. So another thing that I would like to share before I start is this hashtag. So I created this hashtag WVD Event 2020 to make it possible to share everything during this event on social media. So everything on this event is public information, so you can just share that on your social media with your colleagues, with your friends, or other people that you know from the community that are active on social media to share the knowledge. So I really encourage you to do so. So let's start with the word Envision, because that's the topic of this keynote. Envision, the virtual desktop of the future. So Envision is a word that imagines the future possibility of something. And the future possibility of, for example, a virtual desktop environment is something that has several components that I'm going to walk you through that I think that are important in the next couple of years till 5 years. Let's say it like that. And I would like to rephrase or combine it in 3 words. And one word is modernization. And modernization is a word to make things more modern, more efficient, and make them more compelling in terms of a previous licensing model, and as well things like work that you did in the past to make that more efficient. And a great extension of that is the word disruption. And disruption is the word for doing things that we did in the past in a way that felt very comfortable for 10 years in a new way that is more efficient. So disruption is the disturbance of a problem which interrupts an event. So think about a product that exists for 10 years and got improved by, for example, Microsoft. And therefore, it's very efficient to do and more cost-effective as well. And that's a great reflection to Windows Virtual Desktop. But I will talk more about that later on. So modernization and disruption, that's something that is really part of the digital transformation where we are all in right now. And you can be part of the digital transformation in the beginning, you can be in the middle, you can be in the end. It really depends on the pace as your business goes, if you are an early adopter. And we as part of Microsoft help you with that with like a couple of services that we provide. So a great example of the digital transformation and the modernization path to follow is the shift from Exchange Server to Exchange Online. So think about like 6 years ago where you still had like Exchange admins in your IT department that were very knowledgeable on creating an Exchange server and creating mailbox stores. That's all now consolidated into a cloud software as a service solution, which is called Exchange Online, which is part of Office 365. So Office 365 was a great example of that first step of the digital transformation and the modernization of your traditional environment, making it more efficient in a cloud model. So with the change from Office 365 to Microsoft 365, we do that as well with sort of, so to say, more infrastructure services, which is Azure of course, but Windows Virtual Desktop is running on Azure and makes that model of a traditional VDI and RDS environment even more efficient. I will talk in the next slides about that. So this is a great table that explains the shift from on-prem to IaaS to PaaS to Platform as a Service and eventually to Software as a Service, so a complete managed cloud solution. So and that's exactly the sort of path that you can follow in the move to Windows Virtual Desktop. So let's summarize what you normally had to do in a traditional VDI and RDS environment, in an infrastructure environment. So you are in a traditional VDI and RDS environment responsible for brokering, licensing, as well for the gateway. All those components are your own responsibility. You had to build it yourself or via partner, but in essence the partner had to do the same kind of work that you had to do in your own data center. With Windows Virtual Desktop, we take that really to the next phase and we release you for the management layer, so what we also call the control plane, with the service Windows Virtual Desktop as the desktop as a service solution that we offer for that. So you're not responsible anymore for networking, maintenance, but as well the brokering service, the gateway service, all those pieces that you normally had to chain and make available globally worldwide if you are a large enterprise. That's now all consolidated and runs on Azure, and we manage and maintain that for you. So this example explains that perfectly fine. The first two blue buckets are still your own responsibility, and the rest is managed by Microsoft for you. So this example, what you see here, focuses more on the component side. So on the left side you see what's your control, so that's what's running in your subscription, let's say it like that. So think about your virtual machines, your session hosts that can run Windows 10 multi-session as an exclusive offering for Windows Virtual Desktop, as you might know, but as well Windows Server 2012, R2, 16, 19, or Windows 7 or Windows 10 a single session instead of multi-session. So that are all kinds of things that you run in your own subscription, so you still have control to optimize those and install your own applications and use Avis Logics for profile delivery to optimize your profile solution for Office 365 services as an example. And on the right side, as you can see, you have the Windows Virtual Desktop service, and that includes all those components that I just colored in a previous slide. So think about brokering, web service, gateway, the global availability of the service. Everything is part of that offering, and that's a platform as a service offering that we offer as part of your Microsoft 365 licensing model. And the other great thing is that everything on the left side is running on Azure. So you release yourself from compute storage and networking as well, like maintenance. On the storage side, we manage that as well for you if you use Azure Files for an Avis Logics profile storage solution. So all kinds of services that you can use as part of that digital transformation to release yourself from traditional work that you did manually in the past. And another great improvement that we did for Windows Virtual Desktop is the shift from a non-ARM based model, an Azure Resource Manager model, which you know from the Azure portal, is that we shifted from a non-ARM model to ARM. So everything in Windows Virtual Desktop is now available into the Azure portal. So you can enroll your virtual machines directly from the Azure portal. If you search for Windows Virtual Desktop, you will see this this service menu popping up, and you can start creating a host pool here, add virtual machines to that, assign it to a user, and get up to speed in like roughly 20 minutes. And that's the reason as well why Windows Virtual Desktop has been so pivotal in this pandemic during COVID-19, because a lot of customers have been using and still use Windows Virtual Desktop to enable employees to work from home. And another great example is what Forrester and Gartner as well predict in the near and long-term future in the shift from traditional VDI and RDS to a cloud-based desktop as a service solution. They think that cloud is the future for VDI. So desktop as a service, so a complete managed solution for offering your desktop, your virtual desktop on top of Azure. That would be the future of doing that, because it would be very difficult to make like the solution, the traditional solution, compelling enough in a comparison to, like, for example, Windows Virtual Desktop. So if you're interested in the report of Forrester, this QR code below takes you to that white paper. You can download it free on Microsoft.com. So another great thing that is improved while moving to like Windows Virtual Desktop to a cloud-based, cloud-managed virtual desktop solution is the identity and security layer of your virtual desktop environment. Because identity and security is very important. Identity is your mechanism to go in, and security is very important because you want to keep everybody out your virtual desktop environment, and as well your virtual applications and your data. So this is a very interesting quote that rephrased that not every company has multi-factor authentication enabled in their infrastructure, whether it's VDI or just a normal physical laptop environment. And one of the interesting things that we can improve and make easier for you is while using Azure in combination with Windows Virtual Desktop and as well Microsoft 365, you get the complete security stack with that as well. If you go, for example, for the Microsoft 365 E5 license, you get Defender ATP and P2, Azure AD Premium P2 as an extra, and that gives you extra conditional access capabilities, for example. But with the normal E3 license, you already have Azure MFA as an example, as a license that you can use to easily enable multi-factor authentication to ensure that you can log on with a username, password, and a secondary app on your phone or mobile call or an SMS code to access your environment securely. So as I said, the shift from an existing traditional environment, security was very complex. You had to buy tokens and activate those tokens, and with Azure MFA you just need to switch on the button, and then you can just use your virtual desktop environment securely. So another great example of leveraging a cloud solution that can make it easier for you as a business to secure your virtual desktop environment. Other great examples are, of course, the combination between devices, so Intune, as well as Microsoft Defender ATP. Think about leveraging the Azure cloud, so all the security benefits that you get as part of the Azure cloud, ISO certificates, investments that we do to keep and to stay and to make and to stay Azure as the most secure platform possible. We have that all prepared for you. And of course the data capabilities for that, so encrypt your data inside Azure, that's all possible to do in conjunction with Windows Virtual Desktop. So let's rephrase those three words again and extend the vision of the future, and we call modernization, disruption, and transformation. And before I do that and go a little bit further along in the future, do you remember that 20 years ago we had to install applications via floppy drives? This is a great example of Doom, a great application or a great game that I played in the past as well, that you had to install with 5 floppy drives. So we obviously don't do that anymore. That's already improved. But something that I would like to show you is something we have been working on as part of the Windows Virtual Desktop product to optimize the application delivery procedure within Windows Virtual Desktop. So how would it be to deliver your apps to your images without installing the application, without touching your images, like installing applications as you normally probably did in a traditional environment, installing that in an image and seal that image and make that a golden image. How would it be to go away from that procedure and make it more efficient and assign an application on the fly while the user logs on separately from the image? So that's something we can do with MSX App Attach, and this is a great demo of how that works in the new Azure portal. So previously I showed earlier how MSX App Attach works and what the benefits of MSX App Attach are, but this demo is new because this shows you the experience in the Azure portal. So as you can see, Notepad++ is not running on this machine, so the application is not available. So if I go to the Azure portal, to the host pool and the new integration with an MSX App Attach, inside the portal you can search for your VHD that can be stored on Azure Files or Azure NetApp Files as an example. And inside that container you see the application itself, and it automatically detects the application, and it gives in the name of the application. You can change that as well. And while you save this, you can assign it to a group or to a user, and that allows you to assign an application without even touching your session host. So you can on the fly install an application or inject an application and run it as part of your Windows Virtual Desktop environment without logging users off or doing any maintenance procedures to update your images, as an example, on the application side of things. So it sounds pretty cool, right? So I'm very excited to deliver this more to customers and to emphasize the need for making this procedure more efficient as well for our customers. So I hear you thinking, what's next? This is already amazing, right? So what you will see in the near future is the more like consolidation of a modern desktop to a virtual desktop. So all the capabilities that you know from like Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Endpoint Manager, to manage your physical like Surface device, your modern desktop, they will come more together to the Windows Virtual Desktop solution. And recently in August, Gartner released a Quadro like statistics metrics that you can see on the screen here. And Microsoft is now the leader in the space of the endpoint management solutions that are out there. So a really great thing to see, and it's great to know as well that that comes now to the virtual world within Microsoft as well. So you can, as part of what you can do today, you can already manage and publish applications to Windows 10 single session, and very soon from now it will be possible to do that for Windows 10 multi-session as well. So this is a great example of the MEM portal, Microsoft Endpoint Manager, where you can see like the status of your virtual desktop. So you see here multiple Windows 10 single session virtual desktops that are listed as a compliant virtual desktop or not. So really good integration of taking virtual and physical together in one console. And you can as well like configure applications from the Intune portal for single session right now. And multi-session comes very soon like available for you. So stay tuned for that, and as well for the session at the end of today from Peter from the WVD engineering team, because he has some more cool demos around this and some great news around that, and tells more about like integration with other services like Defender ATP as an example. So we're almost nearing the end, and something I would like to share with you, what I experienced myself as well. I use the mobile phone more than like ever before, because the mobile phone creates more capabilities and has more apps that come really close to the apps that we use on our physical laptop device. So our mobile phones taking over our personal computers. So let that sink in. I don't think we are ready for that yet, but the apps are definitely ready to do so. And I think when we make the devices a little bit better to combine those apps and as well the work that we do on like a physical laptop, I think then we can really work more efficient if you are, for example, sitting in the garden. You can do things that you normally had to do behind your office while using a Surface Duo as an example. So the Surface Duo is a phone and a laptop inside that makes it possible to use two screens and do like on one screen do like Outlook, writing an email, and on the other side you check your text messages or something like that. And that's a great example of a new way of thinking and using a mobile device and combine the things that we traditionally did on like a laptop device. So, and on the right side you see the Surface Neo, which is a new ARM device that is very efficient for for example, being active with the battery. So the battery has a very long lifetime and as well a duration to have power to continue work. So I think those two devices make it possible to really move away more from a traditional laptop or a physical computer and combine the work while being more on the road. And another great thing is that you can combine that work doing that on a Surface Duo as an example, and use the Windows Virtual Desktop product to bring your Windows 32 applications together in like the Azure cloud, centralize, manage that, and use the Surface Duo or Neo as an entry point to connect to the cloud to run your corporate applications as an example, if they are not ready to go for a software as a service solution. So I would like to show you a great video that explains the real benefit and how you can experience yourself how the Surface Duo can change the way how you work today.
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before, no. Hello? I just wanna tell you right now that I believe, I really do believe that something's got a hold on me, yeah. Oh, something's got a hold on me right now, yeah. Let me tell you now, I've got a feeling that feels so strange. Everything about me seems to have changed. Step by step, I got a brand new walk. I even sound sweeter when I talk. I said, hey baby, it must be love, you know it must be love.
So I hope that inspired you. So before we wrap up, I would like to share some information about the world and like a post-COVID scenario. So we are all part of the pandemic. Some countries are further down, further up in terms of infected people. It's a very negative situation to be in. So I hope your family is safe. But on the downside, or on the flip side, let's say it like that, we see an improvement as well in working more from home, and as well prove that work from home can be more efficient as well and can increase the productivity. So if we make an example to the past, there were some like bosses in companies that were not allowing their employees to work from home because they did not trust their employees, because they thought that they would not work at home, let's say it like that. So a lot of companies are forced to work from home right now, and that looks or takes things and puts things in a different perspective. And a lot of like analytics, like reports have been done, and that proves that work from home increases the productivity with, for example, 13%. So that's a great example. And I predict that work from home while using Windows Virtual Desktop or any other technology will get more like the normal in a normal working day. So think about a hybrid model where you need to work from home for 3 days and 2 days you are at the office. So I think that's a great combination to be very productive and keep the personal touch of meetings and have a chat with your colleagues in the future. And a great example is this quote from our CEO, Satya Nadella. 2 years of digital transformation happened in 2 months. So really, like the change from like traditional work to modern work and work from home and use the technology that we provide for that. Because COVID, companies are forced to do so. And I think that's a real benefit for every person on this planet to be more productive on whether it's like their home office or the physical office, and combine as well work-life balance with like being a little bit more at home and bring your kids to school as an example. And like for example, Forbes thinks that remote working will be the new normal. So great thing. And let's recap soon, perhaps on the 3rd edition of this event, and see if we have if we predict the future right? So before we end up, I would like to share something more. So I've recently worked together with a community colleague within Microsoft, Dean Safola, which you might know from the Azure Academy. We created a new concept, a video podcast, where we invite people from Microsoft engineering and the worldwide virtual desktop communities to go with us on a show where we interview them and ask them to show demos of their product or things that they did at a customer. So really encourage you to take a look at that. You can learn a lot and keep up to date on the new features that we release on the Windows Virtual Desktop and as well other products that are related to Windows Virtual Desktop. So please go to desktopsinthecloud.com to keep informed, and I hope you will be a reoccurring follower of our platform. So wait, before we finally wrap up, I want to declare again 2020 the year of Windows Virtual Desktop. We touched base on that during our last event, and I still think it's like that. So I hope you still agree with me. And let's start now, because it's showtime. It's time for our first speakers. But before I do that, I would like to share the agenda with you. So we have some great speakers, as I told you in the beginning. We have Neil and Stefan that will talk about their field experience as part of the WVD community. We have Esther talking about automation, Robin and Getjan talking about their field experience and best practices. We have Benny talking about user experience in Windows Virtual Desktop, and Travis from the US talking everything about auto-scaling and monitoring. And in the end, last but not least, we have someone from the PG, from the product group, the Windows Virtual Desktop engineering team, that gives you an update of all the recent announcements around Microsoft Ignite. So stay tuned, and I hope you like this day. So I hope to see you soon at the next event, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here.